All right, all right, all right. We are back. We are back with another one. It's Wednesday. We halfway through the week. We're almost there, guys. We are almost there. Let me hide this vertical because there's too many screens. Okay. I can't have too many. I'm already tired. But good evening. Welcome back to the Real Precious Network, guys. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. Like the live video this evening, share with a friend. Definitely subscribe to the channel so you know when we're live. We're usually live on Tuesday evenings for our adoptee foster, and 3 a.m. who is below me hosts that show with me, and then we have the men's forum on Wednesday nights. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Again, definitely hit that like button, the thumbs up button outside of the chat so the algorithm knows that we having this conversation tonight. Okay. Hey guys, how are you doing this evening? How are you doing? Mr. R. Payne, how are you?
Fine, I can't complain. Nothing to complain about. Just getting over this. I had a terrible chest cold for like almost a month. It's been, it was really bad. It's been going down, but every so often I don't know. I'm here though. I have to move around. Moving around, I feel better. I'm feeling a lot better, but a couple of days in there, forget it.
Yeah,
I had to go to urgent care like 2 weeks ago.
Really? I know you had that cough, and
that's it.
With your wife, and you weren't feeling too good.
Yeah, well, that's what I did call you. That was part of it. I had to, and I was out of town because my cousin passed away. I went up to Massachusetts for his funeral. I felt better driving. It was crazy. I felt just getting out of the house driving up there, for some reason. But once I got there and all that, man, forget it. Well, one of my oldest cousins, first cousin, passed away. We all sad, but
oh man, sorry to hear that.
Family reunion, everybody comes back. So
yeah,
it was a send off.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling a little better. Those things, I feel like illnesses now just linger. Like before, it used to be like, all right, good 3-4 days.
If I was in better shape, it probably would have been gone. But
yeah.
Yeah, I know. As I get older, like you said, it just seems to linger, especially the cough and like the sniffles. It's like, I know, like when I wake up in the morning, like my nose will be like real stuffy, and then like once I blow my nose, like I'll be fine. But like it just feels like a cold is coming on, but nothing, ever transpires past that. But I'm doing good. I got some fairly good news today.
Good.
I told you about, I reached out to one of my first cousins on my mother's side, and she was shocked, and also she was happy, and she's willing, as of right now, she said that she's willing to help me kind of discover and peel back the layers on the family. So I'm really looking forward to that. Like that kind of made my day, actually.
Nice. So like I said, guys, we do the adoptee foster on Tuesday nights. Leon and I were both in foster care and both adopted. And so we are advocates for those who are in the community. And Leon is on the reunification process with his family, with his biological family. And, it hasn't always been easy, but we got some good news today. And so we take the good news along with the bad news. But it's a daily process. It's a daily journey.
Sure.
So I'm glad that it is going well for you. Can't wait to hear about everything, the reunites and the meetups and the pictures and all the things that, usually happen during that process. So good job.
I'm excited.
Love to hear it. All right, guys. I had a good day. It was a long one, but I'm here.
I hear it in your voice, So
yes, I'm just,
you have to make the conversation lively so we can wake everybody up.
And I don't feel like I'm under the weather, but I sound like I'm under the weather. Even a coworker was like, you sound like, you got, and I don't feel like, but got no wood around here. Like, I don't know, but it says, see this, the what's the green stuff? And I don't even have allergies. So I don't know if it's just the air that's making me feel this way, or I'm just really tired. I had a long day, a long evening last night and go to bed so late. So
well, that'll do it.
Yeah, rest. Oh look, I know how to rest now, but when I have these shows, I be wide awake at night after I get off of here. So I gotta I gotta scale it back a little bit. Because we was on for 3 hours last night, and we don't usually go that long on the adoptee foster. So
that was a good conversation, though. I ain't gonna lie. That was really, it was an ebbs and flow kind of conversation. It's really, because sometimes, I like for people to get like not just, it's different than watching a video than actually hearing somebody's story, like really delving, into like what people go through. It's easy to look at a video like, oh, I feel sorry for them or whatever. But like when you actually explain like what's going on and, you help people understand, I think they really get the gist of it, especially for people who aren't adopted.
Yeah, definitely join us on Tuesday nights, guys. You'll even learn a thing or two about those adopted and foster care. And a lot of people around us are adopted or in foster care, and they just don't talk about it. I believe even if you are with your mom and a step parent raised you, that is definitely somewhat of adoption, especially if they go through with it legally. They are legally bonding themselves to you. So definitely join us on Tuesday nights. We have a good time over there, just being advocates for the community and helping them find a voice for themselves. All right. Well, tonight we are going to be getting into Nia Long says that her sons will not get an inheritance if they have children out of wedlock. That is going to be our last video that we go over. But until then, I came across a couple other videos that I wanted to go over this evening. There's a content creator. Her name is Six the God. Have you guys heard of her? Six the God.
I've seen some videos of her. Yeah.
So I came across a video not too long ago. I'm gonna remove this because every time I try to play videos on StreamYard and then
I've probably seen it.
I came across a video where she is talking about how men who are over 35 and are still single need to either really find a wife, leave women alone, and be very selective with who they, choose to be in relations with, and pretty much stop listening to the propaganda that, social media spreads across these airwaves that we're watching, seeing, and scrolling on every day. So we're gonna get into this.
The dudes that's 35 and up who still unmarried, and Six, I'm gonna be honest with you, I could not still be outside right now.
Oh my
like
God.
How people still at 35 and up, like I'll be tired right now. So I'm like, y'all at 35, 40, you still going outside, you still dating random women, you still going to random houses or having random people in your house, right? So I say all that to say, I think about a Shannon Sharp. Growing up, I used to love Shannon Sharp, right? Denver Broncos legend, all of that. That was one of my favorite teams growing up. But being honest, it's like, bro, you could have been with Tracy Ellis Ross by now. That's a woman that's 50 up and that's single.
So many options.
So many options, right? But then instead, you lost a significant amount of wealth dealing with that girl. your reputation got messed up, you lost your job, all of that. So 6, can you please talk about how right now we don't talk about enough that is dangerous now, that if you are older, to your point, 40 and up, and you still single out here, you should be married. Why should these men be married at 40 plus opposed?
Before we get into what Six of God says about why men should be married, because she goes into a few reasons why men should be married. But do you guys agree with that? In today's society, in today's climate of dating and relationships and commitment or lack thereof, do you think by a certain age men should be married?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. Let me. You want to go first? No, not because I think the guy's wrong. I think if you're still dating outside like you're a teenager, then he's right. It's like Shannon Sharp. I don't even know if those are good examples. In our society, a lot of people aren't getting married. Period. Right. So so it's hard to just look at a demographic and say, well, why aren't you married? Well, you got to have somebody to marry. And just like women say they don't want to settle, men don't want to settle either. But the issue is if you're dating like you're a teenager, I agree with them that's stupid. If you're just passing women around like you did when you was in your 20s, and even for a man, I think that's stupid. I mean, I got tired of that when I was 25.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take 1,000 women to know that this is not a good kind of thing. Because like I said, every sexual encounter, you open up a door to the unknown.
Right.
Every single one of them, and that goes for men and women. So I think the premise of where they're going, I'm not going to really disagree, but I like 6 a lot. But she's all my agreement with her is always on the adjacent angle. Because I think the woman's kind of like a brilliant in her own way. Because I listen to her a lot, and she doesn't play any favorites, and she don't have no extra love for men, but she doesn't hate men either.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see what she says. So this sounds like a good one, because I know I semi already agree that you shouldn't be out there, but should they be married? That's another story. And so and plus I need to hear what I'm not going to say you need to stay single either, but your dating habits could change. You could have a partnership, like women want partners. You could have a serious quote unquote partner, whether you get married or not, where you kind of say, well, let's be monogamous together, let's build something even if we're not married. And by then you might have a kid, the woman probably will have a kid too. So you got to be somewhat serious with that. I think, and I'm going to end it here. By all means, you got to tell the woman the truth. That's the main thing. You got to say what your intentions are up front, especially when you're older. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. Look, I think people try to put limitations and boundaries on people. Um, you might not be ready to be married at 20, 25, 30, 35. Like a lot of people, a lot of men don't get their stuff together, until they're 40 plus. So, like, if you think about, let's just use me as an example. Like, um, I had some ups and downs in my career, right? Like, so I've been, you know, I've had a position where I was doing really good, but then, I ended up, getting laid off. And so I had to kind of like reinvent myself, right? Like, so I went back to college, and I got 2 degrees, but like that took some time, right? That didn't, that wasn't overnight. That was, 6 years of going to school, and working. And so a lot of times people, they don't want to be along with you in that journey. Like they want to reap the benefits of what you have done, but they don't want to actually be there with you while you're grinding through that. Because I'm gonna tell you, I was at some points I was working at night and going to school during the day.
Mm. So
Like,
did you really have time to?
no.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, even if I did, like, a lot of times people they don't want to go for that ride, you
Well, the
know, because
girl
they
would have to
don't.
be doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, or
You're
they,
going to school and doing that, then she'd understand. But
yeah, you
regular
need
girlfriend,
somebody who's definitely understanding.
yeah.
Um, I think that people try to put limitations or boundaries on when you should or shouldn't get married, or when you should be, um, you know, because everybody don't go to college right after they get out of high school. You know, I actually will start. I actually started working as soon as I got out of high school.
Mm.
Mm,
Like, I didn't go to college
okay.
because my parents was like, "You better go out and get you a job." We ain't paying for no college. So I was like, all right, well, let me try to figure this work thing out.
Mhm.
And so that's what I did. But everybody has their own time when they figure things out, and I just think that saying that somebody should be married at 35 is kind of, they're being hyperbolic, and they're trying to do it for clicks.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
let's see what my girl 6 has to say.
I know. Shout out to everybody who is joining us. Definitely hit that like button in the league. I appreciate your wrench skills in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last night was great. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yes, if you do want to reach out, I saw Heartline. If you want to reach out to me, you can go to my Instagram page, which is Real Precious Official. And share your story, and then we can talk about if you want to be on the live or not on Tuesdays. But Machiavelli says exactly, Miriam, and that's okay if people don't want to be there in the journey, but they shouldn't expect to reap the reward. And so we're gonna get into what Six says, and why she feels as though men shouldn't just be out here in these streets.
Opposed to just walking around single still.
Well, that's also why they're dying.
Alone.
You rarely see married men dying. It's like when you see a man like gunned down in the street, usually he's not married.
He's outside.
He's outside. Okay.
3 a.m. Why?
No. That's like, okay.
No.
She's being dramatic. Like,
That's why they're dying.
anybody, look, I'm gonna tell you, anybody can walk outside and get hit by a bus.
By a truck.
They can get hit by a stray bullet, and that's it. And we're not saying that like we want that to happen to somebody, but that is a probability, right?
In today's 26.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but she's being hyperbolic, like you said.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
she's saying that men who are that older, not you excluded, because
You're unkept. You're unkept.
Yeah, when I'm saying you excluded, you seem subdued. Men need to be grounded, even in their purpose, right? Mm-hmm. So if you got some shit with you, you're halfway handsome, got a little bit of money, and you're not really grounded, and women are attracted to you, you can lose yourself in that too. And the older you are, the more you have to lose, I think. So she's coming from that standpoint. That's why men who are CEOs and high up in corporations, presidents and all that, a lot of those guys are married.
Yeah.
And when I look at I like to watch a lot of sports. Some guys get married too young, but a lot of great athletes who are married young, their careers turned out to be a little bit better, right? Than some of the guys coming in wildlings. So, and they're young. So I'm just saying, I see where they're coming from. And some of the examples she's going to use, I'm going to have umbrage with. But it's a grounded thing, right? It really is. And I think she would have put it that way. But I understand Six a little bit, so I know where she's coming from.
We're not done yet. That was the first one. So the first one got y'all. Like, y'all
I'm with her. I like the example, but I'm interpreting.
Well, I understand what she's saying in a certain aspect, right? Like, so she's talking about the guys who, you know, they in the club 3-4 nights a week, you know, and they taking out 3 or 4 girls at a time. You know, that's the clarification she needed to provide instead of being so. But that's the purpose of it, right? So it's clickbaity. You know, it's
I'm stopped. I've stopped, pretty much like 2 seconds into what she said. So, that could be, the DJ.
Yeah, but I'm thinking I said the same thing she said. The way this is how I interpreted what she said, what I said, because I know where she's coming from on that. You're outside, and if you're just go ahead, why don't you play some more?
Okay.
I just had a friend the other day. He had one of his students call him like, I'm at this girl house and her boyfriend outside, and he said he's gonna kill us. And I'm like, I hope that young brother, if he makes it out of this, I hope you understand, listen. And I think this kind of is the pipeline to them getting older and being broke. You cannot get to where you're going as a man without no woman who care about you. And you will be, and even if you do get to where you want to go, you'll be there unhealthily. And even once you get there, now you in bad health, ready to pass away, even once you get there. Yeah. Okay. These men be living on takeout, fast food, okay, sleeping with random women, all these women who have horrible intentions. You know what I'm saying? You talk to these men, they're always talking about women's hygiene. Why are you experiencing so many stank women? It's because you're dealing with women who are sleeping with tons of men. And at some point, I think you're weird as a man if you want vagina that many other men are getting. I think that's weird. I think that at some point, I think after college, it's weird if you even want to deal with a woman. It's the arrogance and thinking, oh, she ain't going to bring me down. Well, no, every woman you bed, every woman you deal with, oh, trust and believe. She got the ability to bring you down because ain't nothing stronger than the court of public opinion. So whatever she come out and say, every woman with a loose end, whatever that bitch come out and say, people are not going to care if it's true or not. They're not going to investigate. Once you get certain accusations, that's a wrap. So I'll say this, it goes back into moms not knowing when to let their sons go. A lot of time when you see these men who are older and they ain't got no wife, it's because the mama acts as the wife. I just saw Michael B. Jordan going to an award show with his mom.
Michael B. Jordan can't go to the award show with his mama? Mom.
And I'm like, I know I'm a toxic Virgo because why everybody else was like, ew, this is so cute. Why me? I was like, actually, I find this repulsive. You're 40. Where is your wife? And that's why as a mother, I told my son, boy, you got till 23 for me to help you with meals and meal prep or help you because I don't mind. I said, but after 23, you can go ahead and start vetting for you a wife. I'll find you one, whatever you want to do. And women need to start pulling back. Stop assisting your sons in building their business and career. Make him go get a wife. That's what it is. I'm telling you what it is. Men like Shannon, what do you talk about all the time? My grandma. Oh, your grandma ushered you into success. You see how it goes? So as women, number one, back up, let them go. Number two, you got to start being realistic that yes, every woman you deal with is a loose end, is a possibility for your demise. Stop being arrogant and saying, not me, not me. The program gonna get you because yes, you. Okay, 20 million is crazy to cash out to one woman.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so she continued to give the reasons. Michael B. Jordan can't go to the award show with his mom. He has to be there with his wife. Her son, she told him, hey, after 23, don't look to me. You better start looking for a wife. And if you need me to, I'll help you get one. So what do you guys think about the rest of her explanation now that you've heard it?
I like what she said there because one of my big failings is that I didn't have a lot of eligible men around for my daughters. And I belong to a fraternity. There was hundreds of them out there. And so, because the guys went to school with me, they got kids my age.
Right. And there's always an event.
Man, they got boys, they got kids my age. They would the families are already vetted. These are my frat brothers. I know their wives and all that. I should have been, but we don't talk about arranged marriages in America. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think about it until too late. You know, so it's funny because we have a scholarship dance, a ball coming up in October. I'm gonna tell my daughters to come with me. Sure. I'm gonna tell them why I want them to come with me. We're gonna have a whole bunch of frat brothers. Maybe I can get you somebody. Mm-hmm. So, you know. But I'm gonna really invite them. But so I agree with Six, and her network of women has to be probably second to none.
Yeah.
You know, and so I like that. I like that what she's saying. And 23 is a good age for that too.
I don't agree.
But do you think
I don't agree. I didn't say get married, but it's 23 to start looking, because I know I started pruning down what I was doing around 25 to 25 years old, because I wanted to be married. But go ahead, 3M.
Yeah. So
you don't agree with what part you don't agree with?
So she gonna stop being a mother at 23? Is that what she's saying?
Say that. She's gonna stop doing certain things for her son, and I think that 23. I think she's giving him grace.
Look, I think that people who talk like this, like, they've experienced something that is deeply rooted inside of them. Like, if you're putting a limit on how old a person can be before they get married, or, you know, she is talking about street dudes. She ain't talking about the regular dude that's working 9 to 5 and coming home and chilling.
But you just moved the conversation. She's talking about her son in this particular clip. He's not a street dude. We
don't know that.
Her son's not a street dude.
I mean, do you know her son? I mean, I don't know her son.
I want to give her a better. You're right. I don't know, but I would give her the benefit of the doubt that her son is not a street dude.
So we'll just say that he's not. But, like, even still, you know, it's not up to her. It's up to him.
What she's willing to do for him. It's up to her.
It's up to him to decide, you know, when he wants to get married. It's not up to her.
No, but that's not what she said. She said she's going to stop doing certain things for her son when he reaches a certain age. The marriage part come after that. It's up to her and how much mothering she wants to do when he gets to a certain age. How is that wrong?
Well, where's the father?
I don't think mothering stops at a certain age, though.
Yeah, that kid when she was younger.
I don't think mothering stops at a certain age. Like, I don't think. But you said
we arguing 3 a.m. But we arguing this is a good.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying.
I am. Go ahead, man.
I'm just saying that she's saying that she's gonna stop doing certain things.
Right.
Okay, you're gonna stop cooking for me. Okay, I gotta learn how to cook. Okay, so what? It's like she's trying to dictate who he's gonna marry and when he's gonna get married.
She didn't say who he's going to marry, but listen,
but it's the way that she says it.
There's a term with children, right, called weaning. There's a term called weaning. That, you know, I know about weaning because my daughters wean my ass off of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, so there's a point where, you know, you got to look at them getting to the next level, and the things I did and the way we talked and the way I covered them changed as they got older, you know. So it's a weaning process. I don't let me just dangle out here, because you're gonna deal with that yourself, precious, at some point.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If you have kids, I mean, my man, he just got here. It's a weaning process, and I think that's what she's saying. I'm putting a word to it, but that sounds like weaning to me.
Yeah. Good evening, Coach Ferg. How are you?
What's up, Coach Ferg?
How you doing, man? Everybody doing today? You're looking good today.
Good, doing good. We just, getting into this first video, and
keep the light guys on the bottom.
Arcane is gleaning over 6 to God.
Hey, no light skin slander. Watch your mouth.
3 a.m. Like, nah, I don't like the way she said that. Like, nah. What you mean you gonna stop being a mother? So, Coach Ferg, how much of the video did you see? Do I need to play it again?
If you want to, yeah.
I mean, if you didn't see it, I want you to see it.
Yeah, I seen the end, but I like to get the whole context. You can play it again. Yeah, play it again. I'm gonna shut up. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Point. Me and Sid, we were just talking about that last night. I was like, babe, I'm 29 now, and like I'm realizing it's a lot of dudes that's 35 and up who still unmarried. And 6, I'm gonna be honest with you, I could not still be outside right now.
Oh my
like
God.
How people still at 35 and up, like I be tired right now. So I'm like, y'all at 35, 40, you still going outside, you still dating random women, you still going to random houses or having random people in your house, right? So I say all that to say, I think about a Shannon Sharp. Growing up, I used to love Shannon Sharp, right? Denver Broncos legend, all of that. That was one of my favorite teams growing up. But being honest, it's like, bro, you could have been with Tracy Ellis Ross by now. That's a woman that's 50 up in that single.
So many options.
So many options, right? But then instead, you lost a significant amount of wealth dealing with that girl. Your reputation got messed up. You lost your job, all of that. So 6, can you please talk about how right now we don't talk about enough that it's dangerous now that if you are older, to your point, 40 and up, and you still single out here, you should be married. Why should these men be married?
I see you shaking your head, Coach, for what you got. This a semi-long video. So,
listen, that's the problem with my second generation of babies after the crack era, right? They speak two sides of the fence. You out here, you in the streets, you losing your money, yeah. But then you should be married with what is being presented. Let's be honest. Shannon Sharp, compared to us, is in a league by himself, right? He's a fool to be who he is, to be tricking it the way he's tricking it. See, I could be cool with it if you was that boss dude and you said, look, come over, here's a little something for your troubles. But when you calling the scallywags, see that's the problem to me. You trying to make the scallywags more than what they are. Leave them in the scallywag lane. However, as a single man, especially I'll say from 30 to 45, I was single. There's nothing better than a single man who's working every day, taking care of his business, taking care of his money, coming outside fresh and clean. Ain't nothing better than that as a single guy. You ain't got to and you have to know who you are, because you ain't got to deal with the sister talking about take me over here so I can eat and drink over here. No, ugly, goodbye. See, but that comes with, I would never tell my son he ain't having the problems these dudes on YouTube are having with the ladies. He's not having those problems. But for a guy to be at the top of their game, listen, see, they equate the star athlete, the athlete's money and the movie star money to real. You can't do that. I got to get off at work at 4:30. I'm calling you at 4 o'clock. Hey, meet me at the house. You can't do it. Next. Meet me next. Oh, why you don't want to come through, Precious? You know, I've been liking you for 6 years and da-da-da. No, man. She don't want to be with you. And I'll say this and I'll shut up. I'll tell my son, listen, you can't go through the dating market the same way I did.
No.
You can't do it. So you better take control and you're going to go through 42 crows. 42 of them. Because Precious, when you a dude that's standing on who he is and has confidence, women are attracted to you. They attracted to that. Don't mean you got to run down every last one, especially today, because they moving a lot more reckless today. Stay in your lane, and when you ready, you can dictate who you gonna marry. Mm-hmm. You and people act like, well, I didn't know she. Nigga, you know who she like because you met her hanging with the friends that moving like it. You go, don't y'all go to the family cookout? If you dating a girl, I tell them, if you dating a girl 6 months and you ain't met nobody in her family, you the side nigga. You the side nigga.
That's true.
Because if you laying it down with a chick and you making her feel comfortable who she is, she gonna introduce you to every motherfucker in the whole city that she know to make sure this is my man right here.
My man.
So
exactly.
But again, the guys 35 now. You know, niggas apparently we wake up at 35. You've been running around, didn't know that women talk shit, you know, call you ugly and all that when you was 25. You ain't know that they wanted your money then. So now you listen, man, you only gotta get one right. One. And the way they display themselves now, you don't have to look very far to realize she not the one. She not the one. And I'll say this, it's a lot of women today who only want to sex a nigga just to say, I got that. They still playing these games. So, dudes, man, say yourself, wait till it's the first of the month. All the chicks are talking shit because they got money. They got to pay their rent. That was up today. The 5th, they got to pay it. So you catch them on the 26th through the 31st. You can take some chicken wings over and she gonna take care of you. You don't be doing all that extra for these women because they telling you what they want. Stay away from them. But niggas
at 40 plus, opposed to just walking around single still.
Well, that's also why they're dying.
Damn,
you rarely see married men dying. It's like when you see a man like gunned down in the street, usually he's not married.
He's outside.
Okay, I just had a friend the other day.
See, I ain't the only
How
one.
she gonna talk about you see a man gunned down in the street?
They were jumping on me because I reacted the same way you reacted. I don't understand. Like, help me figure this out.
You see a man.
Now they're dying.
You see them gunned down in the streets. Black man did not start deleting black men on the numbers that we did until crack hit our neighborhood. So stop it, lady. Stop it, man. Listen, man. Precious, you know. Listen, man. You in your 40s, you mature, but your peers, a lot of your peers.
Don't put that $40 on me.
So if you ain't got there yet, salute to you because you yet. So you 10 years ahead. A lot of these 35 to 45 delusional people, who just make up shit to fit their narrative. It's not going to work out the way they think it is.
Let's catch up with 6 so you get.
All right. Let's catch up.
He had one of his students call him like, I'm at this girl house and her boyfriend outside and he said he's going to kill us. And I'm like, I hope that young brother, if he makes it out of this, I hope you understand, listen. And I think this kind of is the pipeline to them getting older and being broke. You cannot get to where you're going as a man without no woman who care about you. And you will be, and even if you do get to where you want to go, you'll be there unhealthily. And even once you get there, now you in bad health, ready to pass away, even once you get there. Yeah. Okay. These men be living on takeout, fast food, okay, sleeping with random women, all these women who have horrible intentions. You know what I'm saying? You talk to these men, they're always talking about women's hygiene. Why are you experiencing so many stank women? It's because you're dealing with women who are sleeping with tons of men. And at some point, I think you're weird as a man if you want vagina that many other men are getting. I think that's weird. I think that at some point, I think after college, it's weird if you even want to deal with a
flag on the
Coach is going crazy.
I'm tripping off
you
this.
Like you want some stink? You want as much stink?
Listen, man. Listen. We got these fat ass nostrils. We can smell shit that stink. Black people can smell you stinking from feet away. Let's be real. And And she's speaking to what the reality of men are saying. That's the crazy part. Like, it's the man's problem. We want to be with a sister. We want that, right? And men are making. At first, men didn't really care what you think, and now they are hearing these women. And the men by default are leveling up. They're looking at who they've seen where the downfall has been for years. Now they leveling up. She's talking about, I don't know who she's talking about, because those women who are boss chicks, who business owners, who all this entrepreneurials, they're the ones who's showing up outside musty, pH balance off, and they broke. They talking about the dude is broke. Precious, if you have a brother, you would no way want a brother to be taken advantage of by a woman, right?
Right.
Not at all, right?
Exactly.
But this is what the women are complaining about: their peer of men who have been shamed all their life and told they wasn't nothing all their life. And those men are now waking up from under that message. Yeah. And they're no longer taking it. Most brothers are more determined to be successful earlier now. And they're not going to waste money and time on these chicks who can't even clean up their house when you go over there. Who kids is fat, out of shape. I'm sorry.
Coach, let me ask you something on the point you're making. One of the premises of this, I guess, this whole video is that she's talking about men over 35. What about that? What about that men over 35? So, she's saying if you're dating like you're a young man when you're 35 and older, that's not a healthy thing.
But what's dating like a young man? Are you meeting a woman and I want to take her out because I got a little bit more money now? And I can
bouncing the chicks around like you did when you was a teenager in the 20s.
But it's still, and it's been like that since the 80s. A small number of men are running through most of the women who are single out here.
Okay, stay on. Even that's true. I'm not saying that's not true. But what about the age? There's an age component for men who should be looking to be settled down. Now we know you were 45, so okay, so all right.
So between 25 and 45, I wasn't putting the limits on the women I meet. But those women, 99.9% of them, when I got them into my private space or their private space, they was taking their clothes off willingly. They was like, "Here, we ain't ate chicken yet. We ain't had a drink yet." They like, "Hey, sexy," and I ain't talking about I'm talking about some women that pay like they weigh. They was volunteering for everything. And go back to being
settled down at 45. You got married. That's your first. Is this your first wife, right?
No, it's my second.
Second wife. All right. So you were married before.
Yes.
When did you get divorced? 25.
I was 20, 24. I was 29.
All right. So that whole situation kept you single.
And I didn't even file the paperwork. She did.
But it kept you single till you were 45.
I was still in the military.
Makes sense, though. You after that kind of traumatic kind of experience, you don't want to rush back into a marriage.
Yeah.
So how about a man who never been married, and he's 35 and 40? Well, Will, you could. You could answer that. Maybe 3 a.m.
Ever married 35? He just have to be more. I think a man should be more selective, right? I think there's a pool of women that they look good. I know, I get it. They smell good, but it's still a pool that you have to sort of stay away from. And I think guys are so caught up in, I got the money now I done finally got the confidence. I gotta go get the girl that I couldn't get. And you know what I'm saying? So, because I wouldn't date under a certain age, you know what I'm saying? But I only dated the type of woman, and I've dated, oh Lord Jesus. Me and my wife used to less about this. I want a woman with a certain importance to other people. I like those more. I'm more attracted to that. Like a serving person, you know what I'm saying? I'm into that. But somebody, hey, I met a woman, she told me she need $400 for a rent. I disconnected from her forever. Don't tell me you need money. Don't tell me that. I'm just saying it. And guys, you know, I got money. I've been trying to get with you for 5 years. I don't know why you got with our pain. I don't know what. Now I'm here. They put themselves in bad situations. Mm-hmm. You know, you never once you involved with a woman and y'all split. I don't care. Don't go back. Don't go back, because believe me, she done went out in the world and let that dude flip her upside down 42 times before she come back. Don't go back. I wouldn't recommend that for nobody, because women don't forget at all. I don't know our pain. 35 and over, I think that's a conversation that has to be held to man, because you don't have to be a guy to shame women just because, you know what I'm saying? You just have to be more selective.
Not women. We're talking about men.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Be more selective in where you play at, you know.
But I just think it's saying, listen, nobody should have a governor on when you get married. When you're ready, you're ready. If you never get ready, then you're never ready.
No.
I think that you really have to, it's really personalized to each individual person. Because like when you are, you know, I'll just speak for myself. Like I was not ready to be married before 35. Like I'm adopted and I'm still on my journey. That's a part of healing. That's a part of closure. That's a part of actually stepping into the next level of your manhood, is when you can actually say, okay, I've taken care of these pieces of my life and now I'm ready to bring somebody in to be a part of my life, and not just, you know, I don't want to damage them, you know. And so um, I would want somebody to respect that decision that I have made for my life, you know. And if they don't want to stick around, I understand. I'm not going to stop them from going on to the next person, because I need to do what I need to do when I'm ready to do it, not when a person online says, oh, you should be married by the time you're 35. No, that's just not how I live my life.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad we're getting somewhere with this. I'm glad.
Do you think, I want to ask him this question, do you think it would take a man over 35, 3 to 5 years to realize that's the woman he wants to marry or not marry?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. That's my answer. It shouldn't.
Who are you asking, me or you asking?
I was asking you. Yeah, you said something equated to time. Say we over 35 now. Yeah. Do you think there should be a time limit, you know, or just 3,
I mean,
5?
I really piggyback off of what you said, because like you can date anybody, right? But like what kind of values does that person have? Like what do they really you know, what do they value in life, and how do they treat people? Like I am really big on how I want to see how you are when you're out in public, and you know, we go to dinner and I want to see how you treat that person that's serving food. Like, are you evil? Are you mean? Do you, um, you know, do you disrespect people in public? Or it is very important to me how someone treats older people, because I have a soft heart for older people, and people who treat how people treat their parents. I mean, there are things that I value that a lot of people, they may not value. They might value different things, right? Like, so those are things that I look for in a woman.
So, hey, Precious, somebody's asking, what's your opinion?
I see. It's funny that we're having this conversation. I was literally just telling my sister today, actually. You know, you as you grow, you know more. I can say that in my past, when I was younger, I wasn't really focused on serious relationships. The relationships that I was in, you know, just looking back, it was more so of I'm using you, you're using me type of relationship. And I think that a lot of people are in relationships like that today. I was engaged at one point, and that just wasn't the relationship for me. And we have to be honest with ourselves too. I didn't want to continue on getting married to someone that I knew in my heart of hearts wasn't the person for me. You know what I mean? And so we went our separate ways. I think at this point in my life, it's, I want to be able to pour into someone, and I want them to be able to pour into me. So it's just a flow of service, a flow of generosity, a flow of reciprocity. It's a flow of those things. And we're not, trying to pull from lack, trying to complete each other because you using me for this and I'm using you for that. This is why we take the time to grow, go to therapy, regulate our emotions, go through all of those phases and stages in life. So we're not using other people, because when you use somebody or you use something, you're depleting that thing, you're taking from that thing. And I think in today's society, these gas prices going up by the second. Okay. People are using other people. And I don't want to be in a relationship where it's just like, oh my God, I need him to survive. It's like, no, I need him to enjoy a full life, a life where we can be connected and we can, again, pour into each other, and not just say that we're together because we're using each other in some aspect or one another. And we all quote unquote use each other. But my intent is not to take from you. My intent is to pour into you, right? And if I can't do that, then I have to be honest with myself and with you to let you know that I'm not the person for the job. Like, you know what I mean? And I think our Pain said it too. Men have to be honest with women. It's okay for you to date. It's okay for you to, know what you like, because I think that a man should have what he wants. I don't think that a man should settle. I don't think that a woman should settle either, but men welcome you into their world. And so if you're going to welcome a woman into your world, you shouldn't settle. You should get exactly what you want. Settle for what? Our Pain, I'm sure you have exactly what you want in your wife. I don't think it doesn't seem as though you settled. You also prepared yourself. You stopped, doing certain activities to make yourself, your being in your temple ready for your wife. And a lot of men don't do that either. They just continuously date, and they're just like, oh, I can't find anyone. And it's like, oh, have you taken time out for yourself to know what you like, to know, to see the things that you don't want in a woman? Or is this a trial and error basis every woman that you get with, and you're not taking a step back to do any type of, inventory, So again, I don't think that men should settle. And within men not settling, that does give you the time period. And I think Coach Ferg said it, you have this time period, maybe a 10-year time period where you are finding yourself. Doesn't mean that you're not dating at all. Doesn't mean you don't, you're not seeing what's out there, but it means you are pouring into yourself. 3 a.m. you talked about going back to school and, working in the daytime and going to school at night, or going to school in the daytime, working at night. That's the time period in your life where you knew that you couldn't commit to someone because you were getting yourself together. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish. As a man, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being selfish. There are women that are ready at a certain point in time that men are not ready at that time, that point in time. And I don't think that a man should say, okay, well, because you want it, I'm gonna do it. No, you should get yourself together as a man so you can be happy within your world. So whoever you bring into that world, you're not stressing. Who would? I mean, I think men are bitter, angry, and nasty when they don't have no money. I'm sorry, like. When a man is not working, or when he's not pulling in what he want to pull in, he's not happy with himself. That's a fact. That's real talk. Like, he's just not happy with himself. So any woman that comes in that, that journey with him is not going to be happy with him either, because he's not happy with himself. And so a woman needs to recognize that as well. And it's not about a woman using a man for money, but you also have to see the behaviors around a man and his money as well. I'm not a woman that's like, oh, give me $400 for the rent or do X, Y, and Z. No, I observe. I see how you either willingly are a cheerful giver, or if you like, we're gonna go half on everything. Like, I don't mind going half with a man, but every single time we go out, I don't know. So, you know, women also have to be observers of men instead of coming in trying to be saying, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. See what a man freely gives. That's what I do. I see what a man freely gives. I'm not going to be asking you, you know, because you want the person that you're with to want to be there for you and do things out of the kindness of their heart, because they don't have to, but because they want to. And so I see everyone's point of view, but I think that you have to be at a point in your life where you know that you can freely flow into somebody, and you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from a depleted cup. And if you pour from a halfway cup, halfway you're going to be done. You know, so I think that you really have to get to a point. No one can tell you at what age, especially in this climate of women who want to do you dirty, who do want to use you, want to take you to the ringers, who want to marry you just for the benefit of the alimony. Like you have to see what fruit people are carrying around and what is really living inside of them, because whatever's living inside of them will come out of them.
Yeah, and I look at, like you were saying, I look at how, like, I don't have a problem with like paying for dates and stuff, but I look at to see if a woman's going to say, no, I asked you to go out, I'm going to pay for it. You don't have to do anything. That goes a long way, like in my book. I can't speak for everybody else, but like, and when a woman is just willing to do things, like you said, out of, the kindness of her own heart, she might say, oh, I seen this for you, and I thought you might like it, and, here you go, and those little things, guys are simple, like little things go a long way, in our world. Like if somebody said, okay, I know that you're adopted and I thought this book would be good for you. That would show me that she's really paying attention to what I actually like, and where I'm trying to get to in life, and not just, oh, here's a pair of shoes or something, like it's a different view, right?
But I mean, if
It's
he
a
needs sneakers,
well, yeah. I definitely do love some Air Max, so like if she want to give me a pair of new Air Max, I ain't mad at her, so I just look at it that way.
One of the funny things, real quick, I found that's the difference between dating today and dating back in my day. When women didn't like you, they didn't accept dates.
I know that's right.
They used to tell you, no, today it's not really true. They'll foodie date you in a minute,
which is crazy.
And that's one of the biggest differences. If I was dating today and I had some looks and stuff, the very first date with any woman would be Dutch. They would be Dutch, because that would tell me right off the bat whether she likes me enough to just be around me.
Right.
So if she's willing to pay for her own way, I say you could pick the restaurant, whatever it is, we could go, but let's go Dutch. Now, maybe during the date, if she says yes, and maybe when the date's over, I might just pay for the whole thing. But she will at least tell me that she's interested enough to sit across the table from me and pay her own way for that. So that gives me some information. Now, she'll probably never have to pay for another date after that if we're still seeing. But that would be my first test, especially today. But back in the day when a woman didn't like you, your money ain't no good. I'm not sitting across from your ugly ass and eating some food. It's not even going to taste good. I mean, I'm telling you, if you don't want to do this.
I have a question then. I have a question, because you're right. Like, I'm that way. Like, if I don't like you, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to waste your time or mine, right? And I'm just I can't fake nothing. Like, it just don't come natural to me. Like, I'm not going to fake and go out with you and sit at a restaurant because I want the food at the restaurant. I'd rather just go sit at the bar by myself and go get myself an entree and a drink. You know what I mean? And so my question would be then, because dating is a lot different and men do fall for the woman who just wants the foodie date, right? How do men in 2026 really know that a woman likes him? Coach Ferg.
It ties into what I was saying, right? Because see, I believe in dating in my peer group, right? If I was single, I would say between 60 and 50 would be my range. I can rock with that. It's a lot of fine, I'm cool. But I've always believed in this, and my mother told me this. If a woman likes you after you've initially talked to her and whatever, is she willing to show up where you are sometime? I'm a sports guy. I like one of the biggest things I used to love hey, what's up? What you do? I'm playing ball. Come through. If they showed up at the basketball court, then I can just move forward with that type of vibe. Like, okay, she's willing to, and I can have a conversation, you know what I'm saying? A genuine conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I can read her body language. I'm big on how you show up, your eye contact, your movements, how you handle your phone. You always on it every 2 minutes. Are you talking to me? I'm into that. And that would be determining, hey, let's set up I'm old school. Let's go on a little date or something. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like a little restaurant, but me, I'll shut up. I'm going to go get some chicken wings. Are you hungry? I'm going to go get this little turkey burger. You want one?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you real, you're going to be like, hell yeah, I'll take a little burger. We can sit down, eat over. I'll make it romantic. But I don't know if that would work today, but that would be cool because I tell my wife all the time, if I'm a single guy today, I'm just dropping breadcrumbs everywhere I go. I ain't committing to none of this out here. I can catch you towards the end of the month. I got an extra $60. What can you do for this 60 after dough? Because I ain't staying tonight. I'm getting up through. But
Arpain, you're on mute.
You're on mute, Arpain.
Arpain.
You're on mute.
I'm like, is he really talking to us?
Nah, I got 2 mute buttons. So listen, what you said though is if you applied your old style on the women today, and you found a woman today who would comply to that, then you actually got something.
Yeah, but guys don't see it.
You got to weed them out, and that's why when I just thought, like back in my day, I never went Dutch because when the women said I paid, right? It wasn't the same prices, right?
Yeah,
but I paid. I didn't even think about it. It was just somehow men were supposed to pay. But nowadays, I think you need to put that first test up there. Hey, let's go out, let's hang out, but let's go Dutch. It does 2 things. 1, it shows that she likes you. And 2, it takes the so-called obligation that she might think she has because you pay.
Right.
That's on too.
Yeah,
I think that's if I was today, that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one of the best dates I ever been on. And I did exactly what you guys said. Like I was like, okay, we're gonna meet at Panera Bread. We're gonna see where the connection lies. So we hit it off. Like we ended up going to like a carnival after that. Then we ended up going to like the movies. Like like you say, you could tell when somebody into you, and when, like if they're gonna meet you where you at, and they don't care about where they meeting you at, that they like you. And when people, like you said, trying to see how much you're gonna spend on the first date. Like, yeah, I already know where this going. Nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that the way the dating scene has been portrayed in social media, because I'm not a fly on the wall and all these dates people be going on, child, but to really expect a man to wine and dine you like you guys have been dating for 3 or 4 to 6 months, to me, it's just an outlandish expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, where do you get these expectations? Like, where do you even get like it it's just crazy because you see high school freshmen, sophomore girls who look like they are grown women out on their own, working jobs, and they're only in high school, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's this false sense of reality of, well, because I look like this, I can get this, and then I can put it on the internet so everybody else sees it, and so that will give me some type of status or some type of clout surrounding who I am, when that's not really who you are. And that's the environment that we live in now. Like, you could just appear to be somebody that you're not, and no one can really date for real, because a real man is going to pick up on those intentions, right? Like, a real man is going to say, oh yeah, you just trying to do this for you trying to do this for the game of it all, and not necessarily for the authenticity. You're not really here for me as a person. And again, we're going to get into that when we talk about Nia Long and her not wanting her sons to have inheritance if they have babies out of wedlock. But men want to know, especially once you get your life to a certain place, you want to know that a woman is there for you. And I wholeheartedly agree with the woman will meet you where you're at, right? Like, it was this guy I was there, and I would be driving to New York. I don't even like to drive. That's how I was feeling you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm driving to New York. What? Tolls? Huh? Like, what? So you're absolutely right. If a woman likes you, she gonna show it where you at. She gonna find a way. She gonna put her fears behind her. She's going, put her big drawers on, big panties on, and be like, all right, what if that's where he at and that's where I need to be, then that's where I'm gonna be. But if a woman is not willing to do that, it ain't got to be, states away. It could just be like Coach Ferg said, hey, I'm with my boys playing ball. You want to pull up? We can go and get ice cream or whatever after. It is those simple things. And I know you say that men are simple. I'm grateful that, sometimes I'm like, dang, I wish I really was a daddy's girl. But then I'm also grateful that my dad didn't spoil me. Like, my dad did not spoil me. It was not getting whatever you wanted. I think I heard no more than I heard yes, honestly, growing up. So, it gave me an expectation, like, this not what you think it is. Like, I'm a provider and I provide the things that you need, but you're not going to always be having your hand out asking me for things, because I don't want you to think that this is just a bank, And so, once men get themselves together, they want to know that a woman is there for them, and they like spending time with them, and they like, the things that they like, and they're actually listening to them. Like 3am said, like, if you're paying attention to the details of our conversation, actually over this, dinner that you want me to pay the whole bill for, at least listen to what I'm saying to you, right? At least pick up context clues, so the next time I see you, I know that you were retaining the information exchanged across this table. Because if not, that should be a tall tale sign for men as well, when women can't pick up on the things that you're saying, but you're picking up on what they're saying. They're expecting you to bite on them context clues, and you are, but they're not doing the same for you. That's another tall tale sign, when she just oh, I love these gummy bears. Oh, okay, that's cute. I like them too. Right? She don't never show up with no damn gummy bears. You're like, and you're not even expecting her to, but when she does, you're like, oh, snap. You heard me say I like them gummy bears? I didn't even know you was paying attention like that. It's the little things. And so I'm the same way, because I wasn't spoiled. So it's the little things. When you say, when you pick up on things that I'm like, wow, you remember that? Or wow, that I wouldn't think that would be something that you acted on, but you did. And those things are appreciated. So I just wanted to ask y'all that, since we talking about why men should stay or should get married at 35. It's just like, are men really tuned into when a woman nowadays really like them? And I think it's like a rhetorical question too, because I think that because of the climate that we're living in today, men are a little bit more apprehensive as they were before. Because back in the day, men, they would walk up to you. They would be bold, and hey, I like you. What's your name? What's your number? Let me take you out. And now today, men are like, hold on now. Let me scope the scene. Who she?
There's a reason why, though.
And I understand. I understand it, and I'm not saying that back in the day men were more reckless. I'm just saying that they weren't worried about their pockets being drained, you know, on purposely by a woman. They weren't dealing with women who had this ill intent. Now, women been wanting to get men money for it since the beginning of the time, right? However, back in the day, things were more simpler. You everybody didn't know everybody's business, so you could be walking down the street with your man, and that be y'all situation. And so there was no fear of exploitation. There was no fear of your business being out there. There was no fear of women coming in for the wrong reasons. You did enjoy each other, and if it didn't work out, it just didn't work out, and you moved on. But now people are just like, who sent you? What you want with me? What why are you here, instead of really just giving people the opportunity and the benefit of the doubt, getting to know them and finding out that if that's not the person for you, then you just moving on. But nowadays, if you're not the person for somebody, they're gonna go run tell the internet, girl, guess what this man did on this date, and then the man like, well, dang, I can't do nothing.
But Precious, that's not the biggest issue, right? Because man who in tune with itself should understand that not every woman is going to like the difference. With the biggest difference I see from then and today, when I approached a woman, our pain 3 a.m. she let us down. Hey, I ain't interested. Blah blah blah. Now you're broke. You're dusty. You weak. You know what I'm saying? You ain't a real man. You're weak. They yelling it out. You don't know this man. See, they don't even have the respect for that type of energy a man is bringing, because obviously we scoped you out from across the room, right? And again,
that was a rite of passage back in the day. Like man, you be at a party. Yes. Like I don't know about y'all, but like I used to go to like I used to go to a lot of cabarets. It's bring your own drinks and
B.O.B.
Got the DJ there, and like you said, you scoping somebody out from the other side of the room, and
walk over.
You got to walk over. Got to put your big boy pants on and run whatever line you're gonna run, and and
if it didn't work, guess what? If it didn't work 3 a.m., you got to come back over to the bar with me and our pain. And we like, she turned you down, didn't she, bro? All right, man. There go one right there. See, that was.
I tell you what, and the other women are looking at you. You get turned down. You're not dancing that dance. That's all the women are going to say, nah, you went over to her. You got turned down. You got to do the walk of shame back.
Yes.
And then you got to wait to the next record.
The wood? Was that the wood?
The walk of shame?
Yeah.
They wanted to walk up to her and get her number, and her brother went to the school. I told my brother on you. All right, well.
But that was part of that dynamic. And brothers learn through those trials and errors, right? Yeah. Because at the bar, people know eyes are on them. But I saw her ass at the park. I got a chance to shoot my little silly. She was walking in the park, and see, back then the women stayed over here, the boys stayed over here. We came together on weekends or at a play. Now everybody's running together most of their life. So they taking on personalities of each other. And you're like, they don't even know what they like. The type of dude. Everybody want the dude with the most money. We, as men, we know the dude with the most money go get the most ass. We know that. We know that. But women, no. Y'all, you on mute. I'm sorry. I'm sure.
All right, well, we're going to move on. Thank you for those who are joining, just joined, have been joining, those who are engaging in the live tonight. We're going to move on to the second video. Now, this is of a man, and unfortunately, his mom abandoned him when he was younger. He was about 17 years old, literally watched his mom walk away from him, drive away from him. And now she's in a bit of a, pickle, and he has some strong feelings towards that.
17, not struggling, not barely getting by. I think you're supposed to take care of your parents no matter what. But my mother left me homeless when I was 17, not struggling, not barely getting by. I mean, completely homeless. One day, she packed up everything that mattered to her, and she ran off with another man to start a new life. And she made that clear. She left me and my siblings sitting in an apartment in the projects, waiting for the locks to get changed. And I stood there, hoping my mama would say, come with me, but she didn't. 17 years old, no plan, no guidance, no mama, just the streets. Fast forward about 12 or 13 years later, my phone rang. Hey son, it's your mama. She had just been put out. Now she needed somewhere to stay. And I had it. I had the space, I had the money, I had the resources. For a moment, my heart wanted to say yes, because that's my mama. But then my memory kicked in. Flashbacks of being 17 years old, standing outside that apartment, watching my mama walk away. So I told her, no, mama. And I reminded her, you remember when you left me homeless? I had to figure it out. And I told her, you had to figure it out just like I did.
His mom.
So before they give their 2 cents on the whole ordeal, what do you guys think? At 17, you know, his mom abandons him, not only abandons him, but walks away with a man, and, you know, in his mind puts the man before him. And now she's falling on hard times. And he like, well, remember, do you remember the time? What do you guys think about that? Do you think that he's, you know, justified in making that decision? If it was you,
he's justified. You know what? He said it wasn't just him, though, right? It was he had some siblings.
He has siblings as well.
You know, I mean, he's justified. I think a better story would be how he survived. And then, you know, and he said he was doing pretty well, and he turned it down. I don't know if it would be a better story, but that's what's missing. How did he survive that? You know, and it'd be interesting to hear that part of it. But no, I don't have any problem for him. There's a lot of people now, man, are not going to take care of their parents based on how they were raised. It's a lot of them, you know. So it's not nothing unique about what he said. Is it right or wrong or, you know, immoral? Listen, I think, you know, I don't think God would judge him for that. I don't think he'd be judged for that. You know, the obligation is gone. She broke the cord.
Yeah, she didn't set him up for success. Like, she didn't care about her kids at that point, basically going with a man, you know, and just leaving her kids. Like, yeah, figure it out. Yeah, you're 17, but you still not, he probably wasn't in a place to, you know, try to figure out, like, what do you mean figure it out? Where you going? Bring your ass back here. like, I mean, yeah, you know, he like Arpain said that the story is not her. The story is him. Like, how did he, like, mentally, how did he get out of that? Like, you know, because you can't just look.
You start from nothing. You have scratch.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Like, she basically abandoned him, and, you know, he had to pick up the pieces. However he did that, that is really the story. Like, she ain't the story no more. Like, yeah, how did he, you know, I don't know how many siblings he had, but, you know, obviously he had to play the role of the parent, right? And he had to try to figure out whatever he could, you know. I don't know what the story was, you know, after that, but yeah, she, unfortunately, that's karma for her.
I would like to, I would think his mother's Gen X. I would just say, right? I think she's probably about my age, maybe a year or two older, whatever, but I would think she's Gen X, right? But like they've already mentioned, his redemption trumps all of that. But this is a culmination of what has happened over the last 40 years. A lot of women got selfish and wanted the world over their children. So even though she may have had 2 or 3, they said, I don't want them anymore. Instead of or allowing the father, the first right of refusal, they bypass that shit. They ain't even think about the man. They ain't even think about the emotions of that child who's now in commonplace with a lot of adults, 35, 40, and 40 and under, who've had to overcome those things, and very few are like him would shame the mama, would hold her accountable, right? Because in our society, we got to put mama to the, but this is not common. This guy is speaking for thousands of men, even women, over the last 35 years. And it's unfortunate, right? Because again, you're talking about a continuation of generational broken homes. Because not only the man ain't taking care of, listen, it's a lot of brothers who don't have a relationship with their fathers, but it's also a lot of women who don't have a relationship with their mothers. They won't call the mama out because a lot of them have lived the same life as mama did when she was 17, 16, 18, 20, 25, making bad decisions, having babies by men who they know would not be there. And it puts, I'll say this, I'll shut up. The one person I knew loved me without a doubt was my mama. He's the one.
Yeah.
And even my father, I used to question sometimes, but then as I got older, I understood exactly how he approached me because it kept me out of a lot of dumb stuff. I saw people around me making terrible decisions, costing them their lives. It put me in a position to always want to help people because my parents were not a selfish people. I had 5 sisters. None of them were pregnant through their teenage years. Most of them have gotten married. 4 out of the 5 have gotten married. The other, you know what I'm saying? So I look at, okay, those things were beneficial on the other side. A lot of people didn't get that experience with our community over the last 40 years, and they still, he's one of, I say, like that's what I said, his story is, if we can get people to line up like this guy, and everybody start telling their story, we have enough literature for the next 500 years based off a generation of men and women who were put in compromising positions by their parents. And we'll see how the future goes because I think young people are making better decisions about their bodies a little. Well, I ain't gonna say about sex because they still busting it open, but having the baby or not, and putting the baby through that, I think they're being a little bit more wise. And I don't think it's a bad thing if you're 34, 35 as a man and you want to have a slow little kid like you. Just when you have that kid, make sure you have access to him or her, and make sure you bring up some of these videos on how not to move outside in the streets. Because that could help them bypass a lot of heartache and trauma, into their adulthood. But we'll see.
I would say, right along with men not making the money that they want, that the mean man, I would say, that's not really happy with himself. Another thing that contributes to that is having a tumultuous relationship with your mom, because that is, in essence, for him, probably his first heartbreak, was by a woman, let alone his mother. And I think that runs deep inside of men as well, especially when it's time for them to seriously settle down, and why it's probably harder for them to do that. It's easier for them to go from woman to woman to woman to woman, because they are not, again, we talked about it in the first video, they're not taking that step back and they're not doing the inventory. And if you do the inventory on somebody else, you have to do it on yourself first. That's why I always say be real with yourself so you can be real with others. And that mom bond, or lack thereof, definitely does take a toll on many men that should be a lot more honest about that, so that the person that is causing this harm is not continuously praised, but held accountable for, the actions and the harm that is taking place within their child. It's not a stranger, it's their child. And I think that, like Coach Ferg said, once more and more people come out with these stories, it'll help those who are suffering in silence be able to, rise above the ashes, because, I can't imagine who doesn't want the approval of their parents, right? Like you want the approval of your parents. And when that's not something that's given to you, your first relationship of your life, it does shape and form the remainder of your life. And you are then held in the driver's seat of how you allow it to shape and form your life. All right, we're going to finish watching the rest of the video. See what you got to say.
Mom called and, she asked for help. That's where I'm torn at.
Can we just get before you go on, can we get like a
what do y'all think?
Yay or nay?
On the first part.
Yeah. Like would you have
never leave your child at 17, obviously.
No, not that. Would you have allowed your mom to come into your home if she was in the predicament?
If she left you at 17.
Is it a yes or a no?
It's a no.
You would say no to your mom.
Jada?
Not my mom, that mom.
Yes, we know.
I'll say, like, I can't abandon. I could barely not give change to people.
Is it a yes
if
or
I'm
no?
I can't. Mom, come on.
Big no. Big no.
Bro.
No.
Okay. As far as me saying yes, I would allow her. I also want to say that that's the messed up thing when people put us through traumatic situations. At times they put us in a position to have to make decisions that are going to bring us even more trauma, because you can tell that the decision that he made to not let her stay with him still with him to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Still messes with him to this day.
So if I care that much, you know what? Let me call a Star Hope. Let me get you in a shelter. Let me make sure that you know where the food banks are. Can you get unemployment? Can you get some Social Security benefits? Something. But to let that into my home, which is my safe place with my family.
That's what I'm saying.
I really don't think that I could live with that. Hey guys, if you
she's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let a demon back in your house. I mean, you just can't. And there's other alternatives. She said it. If there's a shelter, is this, is that, I'll hook you up there, but you're not coming in my house. You're not. So I can dig it.
Do you think that moms think that they're
entitled?
They can do no wrong? Like, no matter what they do, they're still mom, and so you should respect them as such. Do you think that moms hold that entitled attitude with their children?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. Most modern moms, I would say yes. Yes, so. Very much so. Just a quick story with my own mom, right? She had 5 girls, 2 boys. As she gotten older, she started to have this, did I do a good enough job? And we had to spend time telling her, like, yeah, you raised. I was probably the wildest kid my mama had. But I still graduated college, got 2 tours in the military, got married. You know what I'm saying? I'm still doing what I have to do, right? Based off the teaching that she gave me with girls and the expectations and standards she set with my sisters. None of my sisters can cook like her. None of them. But just having that, even from my father with my sisters, guys had to show respect when they came to my house. There wasn't none of that. When my father was home, it was quiet as a mouse with everybody in the house.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say a lot about the function of the home, but shut your ass up and get quiet, get outside and figure it out and make it happen. When they left for work, when they came home, especially as teenagers, there's no way as these modern people are around here with these teenagers, 13, 14, 15, sitting around their house not doing shit. Put their ass to work.
Yeah, that's
but
unbelievable.
But the expectation that they gave me, everywhere I went after that, I came in with that type of, I guess, fortitude. I'm not going to stay with you for free. I'm not going to expect you to do everything. I'm going to contribute so we can all eat. I couldn't be in a space where you struggling, stressed out. No, everybody got to eat. But a lot of people today, they don't have those relationships from the people who should have loved them the most, gave them the most information, and at least encouraged them the most. Because I think a lot of people lack the encouragement. It's a different fight when you fighting in front of your mom and your daddy than around your friends. It's a different fight. But here we are, Precious. Your peers. I blame it on you and your peers.
Oh my goodness. 3 a.m. You have anything on that one?
I mean, it's like when you are growing up, you pick up certain things from your parents, like your mannerisms, the um, the core values, the skills you can pick up from your parents, and and you don't even realize it, right? Like when you growing up, like when you all grown up and you do certain things, you just do it because that's what you had learned, you had seen, or your parents had taught you. And so when you are around people who don't have those same values or don't, you know, you have people who, like Ferg said, like when I was a kid, I made so much money shoveling snow, raking grass.
No more.
Huh?
I said I feel like kids don't even do that anymore. And
Yeah, like
we didn't, it was expected of us to not only do our yard but the neighbor's yard.
exactly.
Like go over there and do Joe and them yard too.
hmm
Like, hey, where they kids at?
I made so much money cutting grass, shoveling snow, raking leaves, doing just arbitrary tasks for neighbors because I grew up around a lot of older neighbors. So like they couldn't afford, to get landscaping, or they just would prefer, you know, that I do it. And I was fine with that. It was money in my pocket. So I think a lot of people don't, they lack, especially some kids, they lack, that fortitude and, that discipline to get out and go work. They just think, you know, and I blame some of the parents too, because like a lot of the parents, they just give kids, a tablet and say, go sit in the corner, instead of, limiting that time and, to having them go outside and do things that are productive and acquiring a skill that they can always use.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine at 17, just turning your back on your son, especially for a man, and it didn't work with that man, and now you back at square one, trying to ask your son for a favor, I guess, in this situation. But I do think that parents should also take that that self inventory that we were talking about earlier. um because I always say, the mark of a good parent is if your children want to come back to your house when they're adults. If your child wants to just regularly visit you, because they miss you or they want to spend time with you, that's how you really cultivated that parent child intimacy relationship, and you stewarded over it well. Because sometimes you're in emotions of being a parent, and what they always say, it went by so fast, and you're not really taking the moment and taking inventory, and even asking your children, what can I do better, in what ways can I support you, and what ways, what things do I do that frustrate you emotionally, that I can change and be aware of for myself, so I know not to continue to do those things. It's okay to, you have the answers to the test. If you're a parent, you have the answers to the test. You don't have to wonder and guess and try to, trick it out of your child. Just ask them the simple questions, because they're going to know that you're open to knowing and supporting who they wholeheartedly are as individuals, and not just as your son or your daughter. They're not just playing a role, they're also living their life. And if you don't have any engagement in that, then the life is just going to continue to slip by, and you're going to get to a point where, you know, the child going to be like, I ain't never know you. What you want my help for now? Like, you know what I mean? You ain't never, you know, wanted to be disengaged with me. So what's going on now? So, you know, it's hard. And it's hard for parents to actually sit on that side of accountability, because their intention is to love you and to nurture you and to raise you. But when that doesn't go the way that they think it's going, you know, sometimes it's hard. It's time to hear those hard and have those difficult conversations, you know. I remember Sean saying, I believe on one men's panel, way back, where he said that he had to have a really tough conversation with his mom, and, you know, sit her down and say to her, you know, these were the things that bothered us growing up. And I believe he did say, you know, she took accountability, but sometimes it's hard to actually accept those things as parents who are trying to raise your children up in the right way. Some parents don't have the help. A lot of women are single mothers doing it. It's your choice, but that's what you chose. And so if that's what you chose, you gotta, you know, take the good with the bad. You know, you can't always want to be praised for being a great parent and not really, you know, you want to now cower away from being on the hot seat. I don't look at things as being, okay, this was good and this was bad. I look at it as, and we spoke about it last night, you know, you either have a growth mindset or you have a fixed mindset. And I think as a parent, as an individual, as a person in general, you should have a growth mindset. Yeah, there should be things you shouldn't tolerate or you won't tolerate or you have a hard boundary on. But at the same time, you know, we are all growing. So, you know, I think that it's unloving to try to get something out of someone that they don't have. But I also think that it's unloving as a parent if you know that your child needs something and you don't even attempt to, you know, give it to them or attempt to be what your child needs. You know, today my sister, you know, she was just really not really distraught, but she had some things on her mind. And, you know, there was a text message exchange between her and her mom. And anyone who knows our story knows that we were adopted. I have seven of us. And, you know, her mom came back and said, well, those things happened before I got here. You know, you can't hold me responsible for it. And it's like, no, I can't hold you. I'm not trying to hold you responsible for it. But you also chose to sign up to be someone to support me. So if I'm coming to you with a concern, or if I'm coming to you with something that bothers me, you know, to say to me that, you know, well, I wasn't there when those things happened to you. It's almost like, you know, it's like, okay, we both know that. But at that point, how do we grow? How do we start and move forward within our relationship so that those things that did happen prior to you coming into my life doesn't seep into our relationship? You know, how can we work together for me to mend those things in my life? And so sometimes it's hard for parents to take that inventory, that parental inventory. And it's not a bad thing to say that that's the case. You know, we're all growing, we're all moving forward. So it doesn't mean that anything that you did was bad. It just means that some things do need to be held underneath of a microscope a little bit, you know, in order for generations to change. You know, generations refuse to change because generations refuse to acknowledge the issues that need to be changed. So I'm glad that guy is changing the narrative, because I bet you if he has a son, he's going to make sure his son sees the difference in someone that, you know, really wants to be there and someone who feels like they're obligated to be there.
So, Precious, I have a question for you.
Okay.
When this video goes viral, who do you think will give him the most pushback, men or women?
Probably women. I would imagine would give him a pushback for not, you know, taking care of his mom.
Why would you believe that the women would give him the most pushback?
Because I think that women think that women can do no wrong. You know, women they probably, well, where's his dad and why wasn't his dad there and things of that nature. But you have to address what is there. you know, because what is there is the problem, you know, and we don't always want to address that. And you know, we as women, we have to like, you can't always say, well, he left me and that. Yeah, that's a fact. That's the truth. Okay, we can talk about the truth all day, but the reality
that's not the truth, but
or you know what, it's part of the truth.
That's the
right?
best answer to give, though. But
not fair, whatever the case may be, whether she ran him away, whether she was a nagging piece of, I don't know, you know, whether he walked away on his own, he's not there, right? And so as women, you do have to have a daily choice to wake up, do what you got to do, take care of that child, go get that money. You know, that's something that you have to learn how to incorporate into your character, because that's who you are now. You're a mother, you know, and because you are there doing everything, don't mean that you're there doing everything correctly. It just means you're there doing everything for the child. But I don't know. I think that women would give the most pushback because, you know, you're supposed to be there for your moms, right? You're supposed to take care of mom. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. All right, so we're gonna get to this last topic, and it's Nia Long saying that, you know, she's telling her sons, and we know she has 2 sons by 2 men, and she is telling them, you know, you guys do not get my inheritance if you have a child out of wedlock. So Nia Long is touching heat online after claiming, my sons know that if they have a child out of wedlock, they will not receive any inheritance from me, sparking a wave of mixed reactions across social media. The actress is the mother of 2 sons, Mazi Zavago Dorsey II, whose father is Masi Dorsey, and Kez Sunday Udoko, whose father is Ime Udoko. Long's relationship with Dorsey ended years ago, while her long-term relationship with Udoko came to a highly publicized end following his involvement in a workplace cheating scandal that led to their split. In explaining her stance, Long says it's about protecting her sons and ensuring they don't create single mother households, noting that she herself has navigated raising children in that position. So what do you guys think about this no inheritance if you have a child out of wedlock stance that Nia Long is taking with her 2 sons?
Gosh. You know, I mean, first of all, she's a hypocrite, but it's her money. You know, I don't know what kind of son she has, but that kind of threat would make me say, take your inheritance and shove it up your ass. I wouldn't say it out loud, but, you know, I don't think they should be living their lives worrying about the inheritance in the first place.
Okay.
And I would never, listen, you know, it's gonna, you know, I'm not rich, but there's no scenario I think in a balanced family that I would ever think that I wouldn't leave whatever I have to my children. Every time I hear things like that, I said, what kind of family do you have? You know, she was never married, right? So she's, and this thing, you know, here's my thing. I would like to do some accounting. I don't count women who have a man helping her raise kids as single mothers.
Right. That's not a single. She's a single woman.
Right. Right. And this whole notion, so that's how we get this glorification of single motherhood kind of crap. Because if your guy's not just, I'm not even talking about with just money.
Right.
If he's responsible and he's hanging out with the kids, you don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting with decision making and discipline. You might be a single woman, but you're not a single mother. And it does, you know, because real single mothers are hurting out there.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember if Nia Long was ever hurting. You know what I'm saying, in terms of being able to take care of things. So, I mean, that's one. But whatever she wants to do with the money she's made, I don't think that's that threat is, I think that threat is counterproductive. Just tell your kids, you know, if you're going to have children, I'd rather you be married. Yeah, I'm not going to hold this over your head.
She really trying to control them?
Yes.
I mean, I can understand the intent. And I think, you know, bringing Six back into the conversation, right?
Right.
When she goes, you know, at a certain age, moms need to, you know, they do have to prepare their sons for having serious relationships with women.
Right.
So I can understand that. But to say to, and I can understand you wanting these women to love your sons for who they are and not for the money that's probably, you know, sitting in their bank account because their mom is Nia Long. But at the end of the day, you know, the basis of them dating is going to be, I am going to be fearful of doing X, Y, and Z because mom is not going to give me this certain amount of money if I mess up, or if you know, I make this decision. And a woman, you know, what if we are in a long-term relationship but we're not married and she turns out to be pregnant? Like, you know.
And can I just interject something when you're saying it?
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time, people have been trying to regulate a man's Johnson. That's just impossible. It's not possible. That's why it's just absurd. Raise your kids to just be responsible. Don't hold that over their head. You know, I mean, I'm serious, and I don't even know if it's true. Like, I know a lot of people, and I'm gonna end it here, who have their kids have an illegitimate kid or a kid out of wedlock. Oh, it's the worst thing in the world, blah, blah, blah. The mother's crying, this is crying. As soon as the baby gets here,
all that's
gone.
Yeah, they turn into the biggest babies.
Yeah, man. And the grandmother takes the kids and says, listen, you know what? I might have failed with you, but I got this one now. You know, I'm just trying to say the dynamics of the reality changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let me just land it there. You know, I mean, I think she's silly anyway. Yeah, on a podcast talking about how I want to bust down young men and all that. I mean, she's just talking.
Yeah, she's a hypocrite. Like, let's just call it what it is. Yeah, like, she lived a life where she didn't marry either guy. She got 2 kids, and now
at least one rich man. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And she's trying to dictate, like I said earlier, they trying to dictate how men live their lives.
New definition for dictate.
Yeah. Pause.
No pause. That's a woman. She's good. She can get all the
Go ahead.
She said that's what she wants. She wants some young men. Shit, that's what she said. Ain't that what she said?
She loved young men. That's what she said. And she said she signs NDAs. And then, like she said, I don't know if you ever heard it.
She should be entitled to her own money by her standard.
And then I don't know if you heard, I think it came out the other day. She said if a guy doesn't call her back or communicate with her, like if she texts you and you don't text her back the whole day, she basically block you.
But wait, before you go, right? I saw the interview that she did with Chris Rock years ago. You guys look it up, right? And so Chris Rock called her out, right? They was on a Wendy Williams show, y'all know
I gotta see that. Is it recent?
No, it was Wendy Williams show when Wendy Williams had her show in New York, right? So just look it up. Nia Long and Chris Rock interview with Wendy Williams, right? And so when they were talking, I'm like, oh, so this is the guy that didn't call her back, because she's like, how do you go out with a guy and he doesn't call you back? And Chris Rock was like, hold on now. He's like, we go on a date and we're talking. And he's like, so, you know, are you single? Are you seeing somebody? He said that Nia Long said, well, if I want to find some D, I know where to find it. That was her remark. Like, I'm out. I'm not calling you. I'm not texting you. I'm not. And he kept it real G. Like, if that's the case, then go
find wherever you trying to get it from.
And he did what most men should do when they do things like this with women. So now years later, she want to get on a podcast and say, well, if I text a guy and he don't text me back, but it's like, again, the fruit, you got to examine the fruit. This man is not going to forget something that you told him. Now, he probably done told his boys, and his boys know that, hey, she know where to go get it when she wanted. So why am I going to waste my time taking her out spending my money when the guy down the street is just going to open the door and say, come on in, you know?
Yeah,
So
and I will say this.
I saw the, you know, it kind of like circled the block with that comment.
I will say this
to make it straight.
like a lot of people with money are starting to do this. Like they're starting to like take their kids out of the wheels, or they're saying like you know, or they're finding different ways. They're finding different ways to, you know, try to, I guess, show the kids like some level of responsibility. Like Shaq, I think Shaq said like he employs his kids into into his businesses, so like so they can basically forge their own careers without, you know, having to depend on, you know, the inheritance, which I agree on. Like if you got a business, why not just
Put them to work.
You know, let them work.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Get your kids to clean up around the nasty ass house first. That's their first fucking job. Going into the business. Get them to get. And I'm just being funny with you, 3M, because you're exactly right. But again, these examples of people, right? What they technically are saying is, don't move like mama and daddy did. Don't be in the streets like me. And here's how I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna hold this little money, because young folk chase that money. Before you can get this money, you can't be a baby mama like me. That's what she need to say. Listen, I was a baby mama. I made bad decisions. Don't do that shit. It ain't the same. Don't. And it's unfortunate, right? Because I tell, listen, my son ain't having these problems. I be telling him, he be trying to tell me, but he don't want to tell me. He don't tell me, but I already know. I said, dude, now I tell him this, don't become a baby daddy. And I had to tell him, you ain't got to worry about me. You're going to have to worry about that white man taking that money out your pocket, and a baby mama who might get mad because she know you got motion. Yeah. And when they get mad, they go run the good dude through the ringer. So he don't want to go through that. I say, if you want a son or daughter, get married, hopefully, but you ain't got to rush it today, because the women that he's up against, they not like the women I was up against. Those women are telling dudes who's making $60,000, $50,000, and you can look at it over the last 40 years. That's the damn average salary for anybody in their 20s going on 30. That's what you make in America, unless you're an athlete or exceptional, you know, one of these little slow ass moving athletes. Y'all broke. But also these dudes ain't got no major credit card debt. Probably they ain't even started wasting money before they started living life. So that's the thing. And with Nia Long, the message she giving her sons, hopefully, I say this, what she's saying, she got that from their daddy. They daddies are saying, don't be out here making no babies. That's why I ain't gonna give you that money. She's just taking talking points. She's going with whatever will get her visibility.
Yeah.
Trying to stay relevant.
And taking the responsibility off of her. So it's unfortunate that here she is on one interview. I'm fucking all the young niggas. Nigga wants to get their ass come through. Look, matter of fact, hit this and get up and leave. Don't be trying to cuddle. Don't be trying to boo me up. Go on, knock me down what you can and get up and leave. And I would hope our sons have learned from her.
But the funny thing about that, though, right, is that she's taking the glean off the rose. If she just went off into just did movies, kept her mouth shut, and just been eloquent, she's already whatever star that was shining bright, she's dimming that shit with all this shit.
Like, dang, Nia, why you
shut up, man?
Social media street. Like, be strong.
But they trying to hold on to the sisterhood. They trying to get women to follow those messages to stay relevant. Don't listen to her.
Right, Taraji's kind of the same way in a different. She never was as big of a star. Let me tell you, I think Person of Interest was her show.
I love that show.
That show was so good. With I'm segueing, but real quick, that show was so good. When she got killed off, she had to make a public service announcement.
Wow.
She had to actually come back on TV to tell the audience that she just didn't want to be typecast. She wanted to move on. People were so upset. I loved that show.
Because she went to Raggedy Empire.
It was great. It was just great. Jim Caviezel.
Empire.
No. I know Empire.
Person of Interest.
Person of Interest. It was on.
I don't know if
I think it was on NBC or CBS, right?
NBC, so it's probably on Peacock.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Jim Caviezel, if you ever heard of the Passions of Christ, Jim Caviezel, he's a pretty good actor. He was like she was a cop, and he was something else. He was like a private eye or a hitman or whatever it was. Show was it was awesome. So there you go, 3 AM. We got something in common. I love that.
I'm gonna tell you, it was a good show too. This is off topic, but Jack Ryan on Prime.
Yeah,
the new season is coming out.
Yeah, they said the new season.
I was telling my sister,
new season is coming out on May 10th.
Okay.
Want something to watch, and I never get any good recommendations, so I had to write those down.
You're the one busy. I'm retired. I can watch everything.
Sometimes I do take the time to rest and just rest, So I sometimes you're watching me, but I do want to start off.
Are you From? I don't know if you're watching From 3 AM, man. I'm a From guy. It's on MGM.
I never heard of that.
Horror flick, man. I mean, it's a. My wife bought me this chair, a recliner.
Mm-hmm.
First time she bought me something like completely with not my money, right? So there's some kind of magic shit in that chair. When I sit in it, I'm out like a light, man. I put that shit in L position for loser, and I'm out. I'm just out.
It's bad. I say I'm the same way on my couch. I think sometimes I sleep on the couch more than I sleep in the bed.
Oh my God, we getting there to watch a movie, man. My eyes start getting heavy. My wife watching the movie, she looking over at me. She said, "You sleeping?" And I say, "Wait a minute, I'm in the kid, man. I got the cup over here." Oh my God. Anyway, that's
living the life.
We're completely off topic. Where's my girl? Got it. 60 got it.
She was first. I had her go first.
But back that was a good. This was pretty good. I like Nia Long. I'm kind of disappointed. I think her sons. I think that kind of stuff goes through one ear and out. I'll tell you, people have been trying to regulate a man's Johnson since the beginning of time. It just don't happen. Whether it was a godly man or whether he's this guy, if King David couldn't get regulated by God, he was his favorite, and he was a murderer, right? Pretty much. Coveted the mother, so it ain't happening. It's just not happening.
Yeah,
and they probably won't. You know what? If they probably wouldn't do it anyway. They just grow up to be regular men, keep them busy. And when they start dating, they'll do the right thing.
Well, I mean, is it that Jesus, are they not going to be productive citizens in this world, or are they just waiting for mommy's money? That is a message all in itself. Let's just take away the sex. Let's take away the babies. What the hell are they going to do as men in this society? Why limit it to if you have a child out of wedlock? If you don't do nothing with your life, and it's money, you know what I mean? It's what directions are they going in as young men?
I think
in the path of their careers.
But that's gonna come down to the relationships they have with their fathers.
I was gonna say the same thing, Coach. How about the first guy? You know anything about him? What's he doing?
I'm not sure, but he,
you know anything about the first dude?
No.
I never heard.
I mean, Ime Udoka is forget about the affair, but the guy is a top-notch coach. He talk about management. I can't imagine he let his son be just a jackass.
Yeah, and that's the only kid he got, and the only son he got. So again, if they have a strong relationship, and if she's done what in her position, she's always been in a well-to-do position. Most of all, she's been. So she's actually giving them the right information when it comes to business, when it comes to creating your own. Then that's good. But the thing with the women and all of that, it depends on the relationship they have with their father.
I agree with you.
Because she's been a bust down. Let's be real. She's just a high price bust down. Let's be real. She's no different from Queenie around the corner. The 2 kids, she's no different.
Well,
she's no different though.
It's out of her own mouth, though. It's out of her own mouth.
Yes, and women fail to realize the young teenagers of today will see all of these videos of their mamas and their daddies. They will see all of that. So, and I don't think women look past as long as their arm is for the most part. But help them, precious. They need your help. She's like, not me. I'm not the one. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mentor the children. Okay, I'm looking to mentor an adoptee next. So, stay tuned because I'm going to be talking about that journey coming up. But that's all I got for tonight, y'all. That's all I got.
Jump in the bed. The wife's already in the bed.
It's time to go night and reclaim my time from last night. Okay, because I just thought I was grown. I thought I was grown staying up out in these streets.
We didn't mean to keep you up that late. We apologize.
No, it wasn't even that. It was, also just getting this show together and some things will work. So I just when I'm live like this and I do it for a long period of time, it's harder for me to go to sleep after I get off the live because it's just like I'm still like wired from being up. But tonight was perfect. We're gonna get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Those who are engaged in the chat, subscribe, share the video, like the video. I appreciate you too. If you're part of the replay gang, thank you. Definitely like the video. We're going to get out of here. We're going to be back next week on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern for the Adoptee Foster Show. And then we will be back here for the men's forum. I do apologize for last weekend. Had a family emergency. Things are okay. Things will be okay. But I appreciate you guys' patience and always cooperating with me and dealing with me. But until next time, we are out of here, guys. Thank you. And before we get out of here, be real with yourself so you can be real with others.